Have you ever felt like someone's presence lingers in your mind long after they've left the room? Like they're an invisible thread pulling you back to them, no matter how hard you try to move on. What if I told you that this isn't just coincidence or attachment, but something far deeper, something that exists beyond the physical realm? Today, we're diving into the mystical world of spiritual connections, and I'm going to reveal 3 shocking signs that prove he's spiritually bound to your energy. These soul tie signals are so powerful that once you recognize them, you'll never look at your connection the same way again. Stay with me until the end, because the 3rd sign is something most people completely miss, and it could be the key to understanding why you feel the way you do. Before we get into these mind-blowing signs, let me ask you something. Have you ever thought about someone intensely, and within minutes or hours, they reached out to you? Or have you felt physical sensations in your body when they were going through something emotional, even though they were miles away? These aren't just random occurrences. These are breadcrumbs leading you to a profound truth about the energetic bonds we form with certain people in our lives. And if you've experienced these things with him, then keep watching, because what you're about to discover will validate everything you've been feeling. Let's talk about what a soul tie really is. In the spiritual community, a soul tie is an intense, emotional, and energetic connection that binds 2 souls together. It goes beyond physical attraction, beyond friendship, beyond even love as we traditionally understand it. It's a merging of energies, an intertwining of spiritual frequencies that can last for years, decades, or even lifetimes. Some soul ties are beautiful and uplifting, helping both people grow and evolve. But others can be draining, confusing, and incredibly difficult to break, especially when one person isn't aware of the connection or doesn't want to acknowledge it. Now, you might be wondering, how do soul ties form? They can develop through deep emotional intimacy, through physical intimacy, through shared trauma, or even through repeated thoughts and intentions directed toward another person. Every time you think about him, every time you feel deeply for him, every time you share vulnerable moments, you are strengthening that energetic cord between you. And here's what most people don't realize. Once a soul tie is formed, it doesn't just disappear because you stop seeing each other or because the relationship ends. That energetic bond remains until it's consciously acknowledged and released. So let's get into the first shocking sign that he's spiritually bound to your energy. You experience unexplainable synchronicities and coincidences involving him. I am talking about those moments that make your heart skip a beat because they feel too perfect to be random. You're thinking about him, and suddenly his favorite song comes on the radio. You're scrolling through social media, and his name appears in the most unexpected places. You dream about him, and the next day he messages you out of nowhere. You randomly decide to go to a coffee shop you never visit, and there he is, sitting in the corner, like the universe conspired to put you in the same place at the same time. These synchronicities aren't accidents. When 2 people share a soul tie, their energies become entangled in the quantum field of possibility. Your thoughts about him send out energetic signals, and his subconscious picks up on those signals, even if he's not consciously aware of it. This is why he might reach out to you during moments when you're thinking about him intensely. This is why you keep running into each other in the most unlikely situations. The universe is reflecting back to you the strength of your spiritual connection. But here's where it gets really interesting. These synchronicities often increase during significant moments in either of your lives. When you're going through a major life transition, when he's facing a difficult decision, when either of you is experiencing emotional turmoil, the synchronicities multiply. You'll notice patterns involving numbers like 1111, 222, or other repeating sequences that seem to appear whenever you're rethinking about him or right before you hear from him. These are called angel numbers, and they're the universe's way of confirming that your connection is real and spiritually significant. Pay attention to what you're doing or thinking about right before these synchronicities occur. Are you questioning the connection? Are you trying to let go? Are you sending loving thoughts his way? The timing of these coincidences often carries a message. If they happen when you're trying to move on, it might be the universe telling you that the connection isn't finished yet. If they occur during moments of clarity and peace, it might be confirmation that you're on the right path. The key is to stay present and aware so you can decode what these synchronicities are trying to tell you about your spiritual bond. Now, let's move to the second sign, and this one is incredibly powerful. You feel his emotions and physical sensations even when you're apart. This phenomenon is called empathic mirroring, and it's one of the clearest indicators of a deep soul tie. Have you ever suddenly felt sad or anxious for no apparent reason, only to find out later that he was going through something difficult at that exact time? Have you experienced sudden chest pains, headaches, or other physical sensations that vanish as quickly as they appeared, with no medical explanation? This is your energy field picking up on his energy field. When a soul tie exists, your chakras, especially your heart chakra and solar plexus chakra, become synchronized with his. These energy centers act like radio receivers, picking up on the emotional and physical frequencies he's broadcasting. You don't need to be in the same room or even in the same country for this to happen. Energy transcends physical distance. It operates on a level that quantum physics is only beginning to understand. What mystics and spiritual practitioners have known for thousands of years, science is now starting to validate through studies on quantum entanglement and non-local consciousness. So if you're suddenly feeling a wave of emotion that doesn't feel like your own, pause for a moment. Ask yourself, is this mine? If the answer is no, it's very likely you're tapping into his emotional state. This can be overwhelming, especially if you're not aware of what's happening. Learning to shield your energy and distinguish between your emotions and his is crucial for maintaining your own well-being. But the existence of this empathic link is undeniable proof that your connection goes far beyond the surface. It's a spiritual hotline directly between your two souls. And now, for the third and most revealing sign that he is spiritually bound to your energy. You dream of him in a way that feels realer than real. I'm not talking about regular dreams where he makes a random cameo. I'm talking about vivid, lucid, and often prophetic dreams that carry deep emotional weight. These are what we call astral encounters. When we sleep, our consciousness can travel to the astral plane, an energetic realm where souls can interact without the limitations of the physical body. If you have a soul tie with someone, you might find yourselves meeting up in this space night after night. In these dreams, you might have entire conversations that feel completely real. He might tell you things he would never say in waking life, his deepest fears, his true feelings for you, or his struggles. You might find yourselves in a specific place, a place that holds significance for both of you, or even a place neither of you has ever been to before. You might wake up with a distinct feeling, a sense of peace, love, or even sadness that lingers with you throughout the day. These dreams are not just your subconscious mind processing information. They are genuine spiritual experiences. Pay close attention to these astral encounters. Keep a dream journal by your bed and write down everything you remember as soon as you wake up. What was said? What was felt? Were there any symbols or messages? Sometimes, these dreams can be prophetic, giving you a glimpse into future events or guiding you on how to handle the connection in your waking life. They are a direct line of communication from his soul to yours, and they are one of the most powerful and undeniable signs that you are spiritually bound together on a level that transcends time and space. So there you have it, unexplainable synchronicities, empathic mirroring, and vivid astral encounters. If you're experiencing one or more of these signs, it's not your imagination. You are connected to him on a deep, spiritual level. Recognizing these signs is the first step. The next is to understand what this connection means for you and your spiritual journey. Is it a lesson? Is it a lifetime partnership? Only you can discover the true purpose. If this resonated with you, please let me know in the comments which of these signs you've experienced. I love hearing your stories. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the world of spiritual connections. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next video. Until next time, stay connected to your inner wisdom. Here's how you can identify when you're picking up on his energy versus experiencing your own emotions. When it's your own emotion, you can usually trace it back to a thought, a memory, or an event that triggered it. It builds gradually and has a clear cause, but when you're feeling his energy, it hits you suddenly and inexplicably. One moment you're fine, and the next moment you're overwhelmed with sadness, anger, anxiety, or even joy that doesn't match your current circumstances. These feelings might last for a few minutes or a few hours, and then they disappear just as mysteriously as they arrived. Some people with strong soul ties also report experiencing physical symptoms that mirror what their connected person is going through. If he has a headache, you might suddenly develop a headache in the same location. If he's going through heartbreak or emotional pain, you might feel a heaviness or ache in your chest. If he's excited about something, you might feel a sudden surge of unexplained happiness or energy. This is because on an energetic level, you're sharing the same emotional and physical space. Your auras are overlapping, creating a feedback loop of sensation and feeling. This empathic connection can be both beautiful and challenging. On one hand, it creates an incredible sense of intimacy and understanding. You know him on a level that goes beyond words. You can sense when he needs support, when he's struggling, when he's happy. But on the other hand, it can be emotionally exhausting, especially if the soul tie is unhealthy or if he's going through a difficult period. You might find yourself absorbing his stress, his pain, his confusion, and carrying it as if it were your own. This is why it's crucial to learn energetic boundaries and protection techniques if you're re-experiencing this level of connection. And here's something that will really blow your mind. Sometimes this empathic mirroring works in reverse. He might be feeling your emotions without realizing why. This is why he might reach out to you when you're going through something difficult. His subconscious picks up on your energetic distress signal. And even though he might not understand why, he feels compelled to check on you. This mutual energetic awareness is what makes soul ties so intense and so difficult to ignore. You're literally living in each other's energy fields, influencing each other on levels you can't see but can definitely feel. Now we come to the third sign, and this is the one that most people completely overlook. You experience vivid dreams and astral encounters with him. Dreams are the gateway to the spiritual realm, the place where our souls are free from the limitations of the physical body. When you have a soul tie with someone, your souls often meet on the astral plane during sleep. These aren't ordinary dreams. They feel incredibly real, vivid, and emotionally charged. You wake up feeling like you actually spent time with him, like you had real conversations, real interactions, real intimacy that transcends the physical. In these dreams, you might find yourselves in places you've never been together in real life. You might be having conversations that feel more honest and vulnerable than anything you've shared while awake. You might experience a level of connection and understanding that seems impossible in your waking relationship. This is because, in the dream state, both of your egos are quieted. The masks you wear in daily life fall away, and your true souls communicate directly with each other. These astral meetings often happen when there are unresolved issues between you, when there are things that need to be said, but haven't been, or when your souls are trying to work through the complexities of your connection. Pay close attention to recurring dreams involving him. If you keep dreaming about the same scenarios, the same locations, or the same conversations, your subconscious is trying to tell you something important about your connection. Maybe you keep dreaming about trying to reach him, but can't, which might reflect feelings of emotional distance in your waking relationship. Maybe you dream about being together in complete harmony, which might show you what's possible if certain barriers were removed. Maybe you dream about saying goodbye or letting go, which could be your soul's way of preparing you for a necessary ending or transformation. Some people even report having shared dreams, where both they and the person they have a soul tie with dream about the same scenario on the same night. When they compare notes later, they're shocked to discover they experienced the same dreamscape, the same conversations, the same emotions. This is rare, but not impossible. It's evidence of just how deeply intertwined your consciousness can become with someone you share a powerful spiritual bond with. These shared dreams often occur during significant moments in the relationship or when both people are intensely thinking about each other before falling asleep. Another fascinating aspect of dream connections is prophetic or precognitive dreams. You might dream about something happening with him, and then it manifests in physical reality days or weeks later. You might dream about him reaching out to you, and then he does. You might dream about a conflict or a resolution, and then it plays out almost exactly as you saw it in your dream. This happens because soul ties give you access to the energetic blueprint of your connection. You're tapping into the field of potential futures, seeing the most probable outcomes based on the current energetic trajectory of your relationship. If you're experiencing any or all of these three signs, you need to ask yourself some important questions. Is this soul tie serving your highest good? Is it helping you grow and evolve? Or is it keeping you stuck in patterns that no longer serve you? Not all soul ties are meant to last forever. Some come into our lives to teach us specific lessons, to help us heal certain wounds, to show us aspects of ourselves we couldn't see otherwise. And once that purpose is fulfilled, the connection naturally begins to loosen, even if it doesn't completely break. Understanding that he's spiritually bound to your energy is just the first step. The next step is deciding what to do with that knowledge. If the connection is healthy and reciprocal, if both of you acknowledge and honor the bond, then these signs are beautiful confirmations of something sacred between you. But if the connection is one-sided, if it's causing you more pain than joy, if it's preventing you from moving forward in your life, then you might need to consider doing energetic work to release or transmute the soul tie. There are several ways to work with soul ties consciously. You can use meditation and visualization to strengthen a positive soul tie or to gently release an unhealthy one. You can call on spiritual guides, angels, or ancestors to help you navigate the complexity of the connection. You can work with energy healers who specialize in cord cutting and spiritual cleansing. You can use prayer, affirmations, and intention setting to transform the nature of the bond. The most important thing is to approach it with consciousness and clarity rather than trying to ignore or suppress what you're re-experiencing. It's also worth noting that not everyone you feel attracted to or connected to has a soul tie with you. There's a difference between a crush, an infatuation, or even a deep love, and a true soul tie. A soul tie has specific energetic signatures. It feels fated, inevitable, larger than both of you. It persists, even when logic says it shouldn't. It impacts you on multiple levels simultaneously, emotionally, physical, mental, and spiritual. It changes you fundamentally. After experiencing a soul tie connection, you're never quite the same person you were before. Soul ties can exist between romantic partners, but they can also form between friends, family members, or even people who were only in your life briefly but left a profound impact. The intensity of a soul tie is always determined by the length of time you've known someone. Some soul ties form instantly upon meeting, as if your souls recognize each other from another lifetime. Other soul ties develop gradually over years of shared experiences and deep bonding. There's no single template for how these connections manifest, which is part of what makes them so mysterious and fascinating. If you're watching this video and recognizing these signs in your own life, I want you to know that you're not crazy. You're not imagining things. What you're experiencing is real, valid, and more common than you might think. Millions of people around the world are navigating soul tie connections, trying to understand the spiritual bonds that shape their relationships and their lives. You're not alone in this experience, and there's a reason you were guided to this information today. The spiritual realm operates according to laws that are just as real as the physical laws we're familiar with. Just because we can't see energy doesn't mean it's not real. Just because science hasn't fully explained soul ties doesn't mean they don't exist. Throughout human history, every culture has had some understanding of spiritual connections between souls. Different traditions call them different things, but the core truth remains the same. We are energetic beings having a human experience, and the connections we form with other souls leave lasting imprints on our energy fields. Think about the implications of what we've discussed today. If he's spiritually bound to your energy, it means your connection exists beyond the constraints of time and space. It means that even if circumstances keep you apart physically, even if the relationship doesn't manifest in the way you hoped, the bond between you is real and significant. It means your souls chose each other for reasons that might not be immediately clear to your human mind, but are absolutely clear to your higher self. This understanding can bring both comfort and challenge. Comfort because it validates your experience and helps you make sense of things that seemed inexplicable. Challenge because it requires you to take responsibility for your energetic health and to make conscious choices about how you engage with this connection. You can't unknow what you now know. You can't go back to pretending these spiritual dynamics don't exist, but you can choose how you respond to them. Some people, when they discover they have a soul tie, become obsessed with the connection. They interpret every thought, every feeling, every coincidence as a sign about the relationship. They give away their power to the connection, waiting for the other person to acknowledge it or act on it. This is where soul ties can become unhealthy. The purpose of recognizing a soul tie is not to become enslaved to it, but to understand it so you can work with it consciously. You always have free will. You always have choice. A soul tie doesn't override your ability to create the life you want. On the other hand, some people try to deny or resist soul ties out of fear. They recognize the signs, but refuse to acknowledge them because accepting the connection would mean confronting uncomfortable truths about their life, their choices, or their relationship. They build walls, they distract themselves, they rationalize away the evidence. But resistance doesn't make a soul tie disappear. It just drives it underground, where it continues to influence you unconsciously. The healthiest approach is to acknowledge the connection with honesty, and then decide consciously how you want to engage with it. If you're experiencing the 3 signs we talked about today, unexplainable synchronicities, feeling his emotions, and physical sensations, and vivid dreams or astral encounters, then there's no doubt that a significant spiritual bond exists between you. The question isn't whether the soul tie is real. The question is what you're going to do with this awareness. How will you honor the connection while also honoring yourself? How will you grow from this experience? What is this soul tie here to teach you? Sometimes a soul tie is preparing you for a beautiful union that's still unfolding. Sometimes it's teaching you about unconditional love and spiritual connection, even if physical union isn't possible. Sometimes it's showing you patterns you need to heal so you can create healthier relationships in the future. Sometimes it's a mirror reflecting back aspects of yourself you need to integrate and embrace. The specific purpose of your soul tie is unique to you and your journey. As we come to the end of this deep dive into spiritual connections, I want to leave you with some guidance. First, trust your own experience. You know what you're feeling. You know what you're experiencing. Don't let anyone, including him, convince you that what you sense isn't real. Your intuition is your most powerful spiritual tool. Second, practice energetic protection and boundaries. Just because you reconnected doesn't mean you have to be available to his energy all the time. Learn to shield yourself when necessary. Third, stay grounded in your own life, your own growth, your own path. A soul tie can be part of your journey without being the entire journey. Fourth, consider journaling about your experiences with the soul tie. Write down the synchronicities, the empathic moments, the dreams. Over time, patterns will emerge that give you even deeper insight into the nature of your connection. Fifth, if possible, have honest conversations with him about what you're experiencing. Sometimes soul ties remain hidden and unacknowledged, causing confusion and pain for both people. If he's open to these conversations, you might discover he's been experiencing similar signs and has been equally confused about what they mean. And finally, remember that soul ties evolve. The connection you have with him today might transform into something different 6 months from now, a year from now, 5 years from now. Soul ties are living, dynamic energies. They respond to your growth, your healing, your choices, and your consciousness. By staying aware and intentional, you can guide the evolution of this soul tie toward the highest outcome for everyone involved. The spiritual realm is vast, mysterious, and infinitely more complex than most of us realize. Soul ties are just one aspect of the intricate web of energetic connections that link all souls together. By understanding these connections, by working with them consciously, we expand our awareness of who we truly are beyond our physical bodies. We step into a more awakened, more empowered way of navigating relationships and life itself. If this video resonated with you, if you recognized yourself in these signs, if you felt something shift in your awareness as you watched, then you're ready for even deeper spiritual knowledge. There's so much more to explore about soul connections, twin flames, karmic relationships, energetic cords, and the mystical dimensions of love and attraction. Your journey into understanding spiritual bonds is just beginning, and every piece of information you gather helps you navigate your path with more wisdom and clarity. Before you go, take a moment to reflect on everything we've covered. Think about the synchronicities you've experienced with him. Recall the times you felt his emotions as if they were your own. Remember those dreams that felt more real than waking life. All of these experiences are breadcrumbs leading you toward a deeper truth about the nature of connection, consciousness, and the invisible threads that bind souls together across time and space. You were meant to find this information today. This wasn't random. This is part of your awakening journey as you continue to explore and understand the spiritual dimensions of your relationships. Remember that knowledge is power. The more you understand about how energy works, how soul ties form and function, and how to work with these connections consciously, the more empowered you become to create the relationships and the life you truly desire. Understanding soul ties also requires us to explore the concept of energy vampirism versus energy nourishment. Some soul ties drain you because the person on the other end, whether consciously or unconsciously, is pulling from your energy field without giving back. You might notice that after thinking about him or interacting with him, you feel exhausted, depleted, or emotionally drained. This is your body's way of telling you that the energetic exchange isn't balanced. Healthy soul ties involve a reciprocal flow of energy where both people give and receive in equal measure, creating a harmonious energetic circuit. If you're constantly giving your energy to this connection without receiving energetic nourishment in return, you need to ask yourself why. Is it because he's unaware of the spiritual dynamics at play? Is it because he's going through his own struggles and doesn't have the capacity to reciprocate? Or is it because the soul tie has become parasitic, serving his growth and healing at the expense of yours? These are difficult questions, but they're essential if you want to maintain your spiritual health and vitality. The concept of karmic soul ties adds another layer of complexity to this discussion. Some spiritual teachers believe that certain soul ties exist because of unfinished business from past lives. According to this perspective, souls reincarnate together lifetime after lifetime to work through specific lessons, to balance karmic debts, or to complete soul contracts they agreed to before. If your soul tie with him feels ancient, faded, and deeply familiar, despite not knowing him for very long in this lifetime, it might be a karmic connection that spans multiple incarnations. Karmic soul ties often come with intense challenges. They push you to your edges, forcing you to confront your shadows, your wounds, and your unhealed patterns. They're not comfortable or easy, but they're incredibly transformative if you're willing to do the work. The purpose of a karmic soul tie isn't always romantic union or happily ever after. Sometimes it's about healing old wounds, learning difficult lessons, or releasing patterns that have kept you stuck across lifetimes. Once the karmic lesson is complete, these soul ties often naturally dissolve, even if they felt all-consuming while active. Then there are soul ties that exist because of trauma bonding. When two people go through intense, emotional, or psychological experiences together, especially experiences involving fear, pain, or survival, their nervous systems and energy fields can become linked in ways that mimic genuine spiritual connection. Trauma bonds create powerful attachments, but they're different from authentic soul ties. If your connection with him began during a crisis, during a period of intense emotional turmoil, or in circumstances where you felt like he saved you or you saved him, you might be dealing with a trauma bond rather than a true soul tie. The challenge with trauma bonds is that they feel incredibly real and important, but they're rooted in dysfunction rather than genuine spiritual alignment. These connections keep you locked in cycles of drama, intensity, and emotional dysregulation. They're addictive because they trigger the same neurochemical responses in your brain as addiction to substances. Breaking a trauma bond often requires professional support from therapists who understand attachment theory and trauma psychology. In addition to energetic healing work, let's also address the role of free will in soul ties. Just because a soul tie exists doesn't mean you're destined to be with that person, or that the relationship will manifest in a particular way. Soul ties show potential. They show energetic compatibility. They show that your souls have chosen each other for important reasons, but free will always plays a role. He might have a soul tie with you and still choose not to pursue a relationship because of fear, timing, other commitments, or his own healing journey. You might have a soul tie with him and still choose to walk away because the relationship is unhealthy or aligned with your highest good. This is where spiritual surrender becomes crucial. Surrendering doesn't mean giving up or becoming passive. It means releasing your attachment to a specific outcome while trusting that whatever unfolds is exactly what needs to happen for your soul's evolution. It means honoring the spiritual connection while also honoring the human reality. It means finding peace with the paradox that you can be deeply connected to someone on a soul level and still not be meant to build a life with them in the physical realm. Many people struggle with the grief that comes from recognizing a soul tie that could want or want to manifest into a tangible relationship. This grief is real and valid. You're mourning not just the loss of the person, but the loss of what you felt certain the connection meant. You're grieving the future you imagined, the possibilities you sensed, the divine partnership you believed was meant to be. Allow yourself to feel this grief fully. Do you want to rush through it, or try to spiritually bypass the pain by telling yourself it was unreal or it didn't matter? It was real and it did matter, and your heart needs time to metabolize the loss. As you navigate the complexities of your soul tie, remember that spiritual maturity involves holding multiple truths simultaneously. Yes, the connection is real and spiritually significant. And yes, you still need to honor your own boundaries, needs, and well-being. Yes, your souls chose each other for important reasons. And yes, the relationship might not unfold in the way your ego wants it to. Yes, the synchronicities and signs are meaningful. And yes, you still have agency and choice in how you respond to them. One of the most empowering practices you can develop is learning to distinguish between your intuition and your wishful thinking when it comes to soul ties. Intuition comes from your higher self and delivers information that's neutral, clear, and often unexpected. Wishful thinking comes from your ego and tells you what you want to hear. If every sign and synchronicity you interpret seems to confirm that he's coming back, that he's your soulmate, that you're meant to be together, you might be in wishful thinking territory. True intuition will sometimes deliver uncomfortable truths that challenge your desires and push you toward growth rather than comfort. The spiritual community can sometimes enable unhealthy attachment by romanticizing soul ties and twin flame connections without acknowledging the shadow side of these relationships. Not every intense connection is divinely ordained. Not every person you have chemistry with is your twin flame. Not every relationship that challenges you is serving your highest good. Discernment is essential. Just because something is spiritual doesn't automatically mean it's healthy or right for you. As you continue to process and integrate your understanding of this soul tie, consider working with grounding practices that keep you anchored in your body and your present reality. Soul tie awareness can sometimes make people feel ungrounded, spacey, or too focused on the spiritual dimensions at the expense of practical life management. Practices like walking in nature, physical exercise, eating nourishing food, maintaining daily routines, and engaging in creative expression help balance the ethereal nature of spiritual connections with the embodied experience of being human. Another powerful tool for working with soul ties is the practice of energetic cord cutting. Despite the name, cord cutting doesn't necessarily mean ending the relationship or severing all connection. It means releasing unhealthy attachments, clearing energetic debris from the cord, and setting boundaries around what you will and won't tolerate energetically. You can cut cords while still loving someone. You can cut cords while still acknowledging the soul tie. Cord cutting is about reclaiming your energy and your sovereignty, not about punishment or rejection. There are many techniques for cord cutting, from visualization, meditations to ritual ceremonies to working with energy healers. The most important element is your clear intention. You need to genuinely. Are you ready to release what no longer serves you? If part of you is still desperately clinging to a connection, cord cutting won't be fully effective. This is why it's often an ongoing practice rather than a one-time event. Each time you do it, you release another layer of attachment and reclaim another piece of your energy. Eventually, the unhealthy aspects of the soul tie dissolve completely. It's also worth exploring the idea of soul tie transformation. Not all soul ties need to be ended. Some can be transformed from romantic to platonic, from codependent to healthy, or from draining to nourishing. This requires both people to be willing to do the inner work and consciously choose how they want to relate moving forward. It demands honest communication, clear boundaries, and a shared commitment to each other's highest good, even if the relationship looks different than you first imagined. If you find that you form soul ties easily, you might benefit from doing deeper work on your energetic boundaries and attachment patterns. Some people are naturally more energetically porous, absorbing energies around them without proper filtration. While this sensitivity is a gift that allows for deep empathy, it can also leave you vulnerable to forming ties that aren't in your best interest. Learning to protect your energy field, to choose consciously who you open up to, and to maintain your sense of self even in intimate connections is absolutely crucial. The journey of understanding and working with soul ties is ultimately a journey of self-discovery. Every soul tie you experience, whether beautiful or challenging, reveals something about who you are, what you value, what you need to heal, and what you're here to learn. The person on the other end is a mirror, reflecting back aspects of yourself. The intensity you feel toward them might be showing you unlived parts of your own soul that are ready to be expressed. The pain you experience in the connection might be highlighting old wounds that are ready for healing. The joy you feel when you re-energetically aligned might be revealing your natural state of being when you re-fully in your power. As we bring this exploration to a close, I invite you to just sit with everything you've learned today. Don't rush to make decisions or take action. Let this information settle into your consciousness. Notice what comes up for you emotionally. Pay attention to any insights or realizations that emerge in the coming days. Sometimes, the most profound understanding comes not in the moment of learning, but in the quiet reflection afterward, when your soul has time to integrate new perspectives. You are so much more powerful than you realize. You are not a victim of your soul ties. You are a conscious creator who can work with these spiritual connections in ways that serve your evolution. Trust yourself. Trust your journey. Trust that even when things are confusing or painful, your soul knows exactly what it's doing and what it needs to grow. The connection you have, whatever form it takes, is part of your path. Honor it, learn from it, and use it as a catalyst for becoming more fully yourself. For more insights into soul connections, spiritual relationships, and the mystical dimensions of love, make sure to visit our channel for the next video, where we'll dive even deeper into these transformative topics. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.